Throughout history, monsters and scoundrels have sired mind-boggling amounts of children.
Osama bin Laden is believed to have 19 children.
Genghis Khan impregnated over 3,000 women. However, the actions and evil of these men pale in comparison to one I'm about to talk about. His name is Connor. Why is Connor much worse than Osama bin Laden and Genghis Khan? Well, let me ask you this. Were Osama bin Laden or Genghis Khan ever accused of being a double daddy? I'm comedian Dan Donohue, and in this episode of Worth the Watch, we're going to be looking at the Lifetime film Double Daddy, a film that tackles teen pregnancy. The harmful effects of social media. And the other kind of baby bumps. That was a pretty good intro, right? I worked really hard on that intro, and if you knew how many takes it took for me to get all of those words down, you would be like, you should pick another thing to do. But anyway, let's get into Double Daddy. I was scrolling around trying to decide which Lifetime movie to watch for this episode, and it's tough because there's a lot of great ones to pick from. But when you see a title like Double Daddy, you watch the whole movie, and then you watch it a second time, and then you do a video about it. I've been doing stand-up comedy on the road, and I have way too much time on my hands. By the way, check me out in any of these cities. I would love for you to buy tickets so I can afford to watch Double Daddy on an even bigger screen. So I'm going to give you the short breakdown right now. Double Daddy is about high schooler Connor who gets his girlfriend Amanda pregnant. This is an accidental birth. They are both in high school. You would think that would be an interesting enough plot to carry the movie through. And if you think that, what the hell is wrong with you? Do you have the attention span of a monk? No, we're going to have to kick this into high gear. Enter Heather.
You know, I've always wondered what these things look like on the inside.
Heather tricks Connor into getting her pregnant.
I'm keeping it.
Amanda finds out Connor cheated on her at the same time that she realizes she's pregnant.
He cheated on me, Mom. And she's pregnant too.
Now Connor needs to learn how to deal with not one, but two high school pregnancies.
God, Heather, what are you doing here?
I know that sounds pretty wild and ridiculous, but trust me, it is so much crazier than you think it is. So the movie starts where Connor is getting absolutely hammered at a radical high school party.
Let's go, Lucas!
All of these parties look like what I thought a high school party would be when I was in elementary school. There's going to be a beer funnel and everyone's going to be dressed in the coolest Forever 21 clothes. Connor is talking to his girlfriend Amanda. And by talking to her, I mean completely lying to her.
Hey, you. What's all the noise?
Oh, I just invited a few guys over. You know how it is.
You'll understand what I mean as we keep going, but Amanda is like a Virgin Mary type character.
I miss you too. But I'm saving a lot towards school.
You see, some characters in movies or TV have nuance to them. But what if you're watching this and you recently had a traumatic head injury? Any sort of nuance might make you forget who you're rooting for and who is evil. Speaking of traumatic head injuries, look at how these people play being drunk.
It's Amanda.
Amanda! I love her!
So anyway, the party ends, Heather stays and completely takes advantage of Connor.
Can I?
Yeah. What?
Come in. I want you to show me what they do.
What are you doing?
Relax.
Maybe you shouldn't do this.
I mean, this is straight up assault, and you would think that that would be addressed later on in the movie. But you forget this is a Lifetime movie. You see, Lifetime movies are incredible. In most other movies, men are treated like human beings, and women are treated like objects to propel the plot forward. But in Lifetime movies, there is equality because every character is used as an object to propel the plot forward. There isn't a moment where it's addressed that Connor is being taken advantage of in this situation.
To be honest, I barely even remember what happened.
So you're gonna blame it on being drunk?
No, it was totally and completely my fault.
But later on, I think he's going to need some double therapy. Fast forward, Amanda is back, they're both in school, and Heather comes up and says hi to Connor.
Hey, Connor.
Hey.
Who's that?
Just some new chick Lucas friended. You know how he is.
I don't know if you've ever been in high school, but There is not a single high schooler, man or woman, that would let an interaction like that slide. If a woman who looked like that and dressed like that came up to a high school girl's boyfriend, that would be a topic of conversation for months to come. And it's made worse by the fact that Heather later looks through this girl's profile and sees she has a picture in Connor's car with him.
It looks like she doesn't have very many friends.
What the hell is that?
Luckily, Heather's with her friend, who I'm sure will back her up and let her know her suspicions are completely valid.
Is that from the party?
Probably. But look, Connor was so wasted, he probably doesn't even remember this photo. Seriously, you have nothing to worry about.
This woman is the worst friend ever. Connor was so wasted he probably doesn't even remember this photo. Yeah, don't worry about that new hot woman in the car with Connor. He's probably so inebriated he can't remember it and has no control over his actions in this photo. What an awful friend. What an awful person. I don't want to sound messy, but if I was in high school and there was a hot new guy in school who said hello to my girlfriend by name, and then I went on Instagram and I saw that they have a picture together in her car, I'm doing something to his car. This is also where we learn where Amanda might be pregnant because she tells her friend she's late.
I'm late.
Late? Oh, you mean you're...
Yeah.
And her friend tells her that is concerning and she should get a pregnancy test.
Oh, hey, look, and don't worry. I'm late all the time. All the time.
Never mind, she's just decided to brag about also being late all the time. Yeah, don't worry, my body can't really regulate itself either. But not everyone in this movie is pregnant or late. We learn Amanda's sister is having trouble conceiving.
I just think it's funny how in sex ed they always warn you, don't have unprotected sex or you're sure to get pregnant. And then when you want to, you can't.
I have an immediate solution to this. Let Connor have sex with her sister. Now, I know that might be controversial, but so far we are 5 minutes into this movie and Connor is 2 for 2 getting women pregnant. And with Amanda, he was being safe and using every precaution. This kid has more accuracy than that futuristic pistol shooter at the Olympics. Back to Heather. She's pregnant and she is psyched. Heather posts a positive pregnancy test on Instagram. Amanda finds out, talks to Connor, and Connor reacts really weird about it. And Amanda still doesn't seem to have put these pieces together yet. These movies are like Dora the Explorer for adults. If your boyfriend had a party without you knowing, took a picture in a car with a new girl that you don't know, that girl gets pregnant and your boyfriend acts really weird when you tell him about it, what do you think happened? Heather then posts this, an Instagram saying, look who's going to be the daddy. Let me just say this. Heather, I am obsessed with her. She is an absolute sick freak, but I really do admire her 100% full throttle craziness throughout this movie. There's not a second where they even really try to humanize her. And it makes me think, damn, she might be a really good mom. I'm sorry to say this, but sometimes crazy women are really good moms. They fight for their kids to get into advanced classes the same way they fight other women at bars. And Amanda confronts Connor, and you might think, wow, this is going to be the biggest blow-up altercation you could imagine.
Amanda, can we just talk about this?
No, you have no idea how bad you just screwed up.
That's it. That's all that happens. He got her and another woman pregnant in the span of 2 days, and she reacts like he forgot their 1-year anniversary. Obviously, they don't want to tell their parents about this, but Amanda's parents find out because they find a what to do when you're pregnant pamphlet in the trash in Amanda's room. Because, you know, when you have your phone and the internet and you get pregnant, the first thing you're going to do is get a pamphlet about it. Where did she get it? In a nurse's office in 1995? No one who's pregnant has ever been helped by a pamphlet that says what to do if you're pregnant. Those things were written so long ago, they wouldn't even help you. You open it up and it's like, if you get pregnant, make sure you sacrifice a lamb. And Amanda's parents yell at her angrily while simultaneously telling her she has to keep the baby.
I did not mean to suggest that you shouldn't have this baby. But you did make a mistake, Amanda.
It would suck if your parents were yelling at you in this situation, but imagine how bad it would be if your dad yelled at you like this.
How about college? Or did you just forget about that?
He sounds exactly like Tim Robbins.
Oh, yeah, that would slick back really nice.
Then Amanda's parents talk to Connor's parents, and Connor's dad basically just calls Amanda a slut.
How could this happen?
I'll tell you how it could happen. This is some kind of sick game these girls are playing. Now, wait a second.
It's like, dude, your son got 2 women pregnant in the span of like 5 hours. I think he's the problem. These skanks are trying to get money from my son. It's not his fault that he reproduces like a mushroom where his spores get released and anyone in the general vicinity of him gets pregnant. Now, you might notice Heather is not involved in this meeting, and there's a good reason for that. You see, Heather is poor, and there's almost no way to interpret this movie other than being poor is bad. I mean, look at the way they depict her father.
Shouldn't you be at work?
Seriously? Are you picking up where your mama left off?
Dude, no wonder you're poor. You're spending all your money on perms. You're like, honey, I'd love to buy us food, but I gotta look like a beautiful poodle. So Heather ramps up her social media posting to try to divide Connor and Amanda. The way social media is depicted in this movie is so funny. It is blatantly obvious no one under the age of 30 was involved in making this movie, because none of this is the way people post. And I'm not just talking about Heather, who's clearly, a little out there. I'm talking about people tweeting about Heather. Hashtag Heather versus Amanda, hashtag baby daddy, hashtag choices. So somebody's just tweeting that? Where's the movie about that guy? I mean, these are public tweets. Connor's mom steps in and tries to bribe Heather's father, so he will tell Heather to stop bothering Connor.
That should help raise the child for the next 7 or 8 years, and after that we can make other arrangements, but only if Heather stays away from my son. Are we clear?
And what? You know she doesn't have a good home life. You know she's estranged from her father. You don't even really check to see if the guy you give the check to is her father. This could have just been some guy outside the house who you just gave $100,000 to. I'm sorry, you deserve to lose that money. And she does, because her father leaves. We also meet Heather's evil boyfriend.
What do you want?
The way Lifetime movies depict poor people is so funny. They're like, of course you know he's bad and poor. He's wearing a tank top. This guy looks like if there was a character in High School Musical who sold opioids. I'm paying my rent by selling Fent. So now that Heather doesn't have a dad, she has to live with Connor. And she's just running amok in this house. It's so funny. But no one cares. This movie is like turning me into a men's rights activist. But Heather makes the one mistake you can make in a Lifetime movie. She attacks a mom.
I'm now really worried whether you're even a fit mother for my grandchild.
Are you insane?
You see, once you make a mom uncomfortable, it's game over for you in a Lifetime movies. Mom are sacred godlike characters. Heather's estranged ex-boyfriend also comes to the house she's staying at, and she murders him. Just straight up murders him.
Need some work. You're such a little slut.
Heather drags the guy's body into Connor's family's car, drives him to her old place, and puts him underneath the porch. Why would she bring him to her old place? Shut up. She then immediately tries killing Amanda.
He wanted me, and he still does. Because he promised that he will take care of me, of us.
But luckily, she goes into labor mid-murder. I'm not kidding. Wow, it's almost like by keeping that baby, she saved a life. This movie is brought to you by the government of Texas, where we believe in freedom except when it comes to a whole bunch of stuff. Then soon after, Connor and Amanda have the kid.
Knock. How's my little girl and my granddaughter?
And they found out that Heather murdered that guy.
Take the plea, you might be out in 20 or less with good behavior.
And the movie ends with Heather atoning for her misdeeds and begging for justice.
Whatever.
Can I get some water?
Sure.
Just kidding. She steals her lawyer's phone and posts away, baby. Heather, you're gone to jail, but you will go down in history as one of the world's most prolific shit posters. So why is Double Daddy worth the watch? First off, the name. Obviously, the name. But second off, this movie was particularly fun because so many things happen to so many characters in very emotionally charged situations. But you're kind of kept at arm's length by the fact that you don't really have backstory to any of these people. It's like for a scary story to actually be scary, you need to set imagery and characters and villain and all this stuff needs to be very vivid. But this movie is the scary story equivalent to someone going, there was a guy and he was killed by a ghost. It's not that scary, but it's interesting to see. Anyway, I highly recommend Double Daddy, and I also highly recommend You See Me on the Road. Also, please subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, like the video, comment under the video. If you do all 4 of those things, you become a member of Dan's Inner Circle. What does that mean? Well, it means you can go around saying, I am part of Dan's Inner Circle. And when people say, well, what does that mean? You try to hit them with your car. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.